This is it, isn't it? This is the question that just rattles around in your head. Do I need thousands? Do I need a huge salary? Do I have to be rich before I can even think about starting? It's a massive mental hurdle, for sure. And that's the real shame of it all. This one single question stops so many people dead in their tracks. They just never get into the game. But what if I told you we've been asking the completely wrong question this whole time? Okay, so let's completely reframe this conversation, because the secret to getting ahead, it really has nothing to do with the amount of money you start with. It's about something way, way more powerful. This is so crucial. The real risk isn't starting with too little money. Not at all. The real risk is waiting too long to get started, period. Because in the world of investing, time is your single most valuable asset. Just take a look at this. It's kind of wild, right? The person who starts early, even with a tiny amount of cash, often ends up with way more than the person who waits and waits until they can invest a much bigger chunk. It seems totally backwards, but it's because that early starter has a secret weapon on their side. And that secret weapon, that superpower, is compounding. It's a really simple idea, but its power is just incredible. Basically, your money earns a return, and then that return starts earning its own return. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. Starts off tiny, but over a long time, it becomes this huge, unstoppable force. So really let this sink in. If you remember one thing from this first part, let it be this. Starting small isn't a weakness. It's your ticket into the game. Waiting is the thing that keeps you locked outside the stadium entirely. All right, so if we agree that time is the key, how do we actually do this? How do we get started in a way that feels safe and, not terrifying? Let's build a really practical plan. Now, what's so interesting here is that the right amount, it isn't a number, it's a feeling. The perfect amount to start with is whatever you're comfortable with. It's an amount that lets you learn the ropes without all the emotional stress. Because trust me, managing your own reactions is just as important as managing your money. Think of it like levels in a video game. In step 1, you're just the learner. For the price of a pizza, your goal isn't to get rich, it's just to see how this system works and how it feels. Then, once you're comfortable, you level up. You become the habit builder. Here, the focus totally shifts to being consistent, to making this a regular part of your financial life. And here's the really cool part. It doesn't matter if you're investing $50 or $5,000. The fundamental rules of the game, they don't change. Success is almost always built on these 3 things: consistency, patience, and discipline. The dollar amount is way down the list of what's important. Okay, let's talk about the biggest mental trap, the thing that keeps people on the sidelines even when they know they probably should get started. So many of us get stuck in what's called analysis paralysis. We're waiting for the perfect stock, the perfect moment, the perfect amount of money. But this hunt for perfection is so expensive. Why? Because the one thing you can never ever get back, time, is just slipping away while you wait. So what are you actually missing out on when you wait? Well, yeah, you're missing out on compounding, but it's more than that. You're missing out on gaining priceless experience. And maybe most important of all, you're missing the chance to build the habit of investing. And those things are just as valuable as the money itself. Look, this is a completely fair and rational question. The fear of losing money is very real, and we shouldn't pretend it isn't. So, how do we deal with that? The solution is actually pretty simple. You start small. That's it. When your first investment is small, any mistakes you make aren't financial disasters. They're just lessons. Think of it as really affordable tuition for becoming a smarter investor down the road. Okay, let's wrap this all up. Let's bring it all together with one final, really powerful shift in how we think about this whole process. This right here, this is the single most important takeaway from our whole conversation. Just stop asking the question that keeps you stuck on the sidelines and start asking the one that actually gives you the power to act. Shifting your focus from how much to how soon, it changes absolutely everything. And let's be real with each other for a second. Starting small is not going to make you wealthy by next week. That's not the goal. The goal is to build a system, a process, a habit that works for you for the long, long haul. Because real, lasting wealth, it's not a lottery ticket. It's not one big, dramatic move. It's built brick by brick through hundreds and hundreds of small, consistent, disciplined decisions. That habit is what does all the heavy lifting for you year after year. So let's leave it right there. The question isn't about having enough money. It's about making the decision to start. The perfect amount is whatever amount gets you into the game. So the only real question left for you to answer is, how soon will you begin?